sound, I just wanted to make a short video about expression and what happens with people. Whoops. What happens with people that don't express themselves, even of the most minute feelings of having experienced an injustice. In short, what happens with them is they turn into ticking time bombs. They turn in and they blow up and rupture against people who have no problem expressing themselves. Now, this can be greatly confused by the devils that create this in people, whatever it is that is not even non-human. It's more like alien that knows the human nature better than the organism itself knows itself. See, I'm saying that, when I'm talking, you should know in your mind that this is the movie that you're in, is that there's an organism that is potentially human, that is what you see as men and women, so-called, but a lot of them aren't graduated as to being men and women, yet they're just basically naked pygmies waiting for the dawning of their own awakening. They have to become human yet. The role playing, and even with politics, like if you're a rightist or a leftist or down the middle or whatever country you think you are from and why that matters, did you make it into becoming human yet? If there is a goal, it's to become a decent presence to this, not only this moment now, but what if people were involved in those moments forthcoming that you don't control at all? It's just bam, 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 bam. Like, there's a certain time that I think the Indians have figured out how much, like, what it takes before your brain loops the information into your head and says, now time is happening, because there really isn't any time. It's hard to explain this. If you really got a glimpse of the true nature of reality, you'll, first of all, if you ever just caught the slightest whiff, you'll never go back. First of all, you're chosen for some reason. You must be far removed from the rat race, and you've made moves against the crowd and the whole current of people that are running for the mind and trying to make sure that it's more real than this. Put the T, put the H down. Let's capitalize the I and the S. Is, baby, is. Anyway, I'm trying to make this a long video. I could have wrapped it up in the beginning. What I was trying to tell you is that, no, if you bottle up and you do not communicate, if you're around people that don't have good communication skills, you don't get along with them, and you can't work that out at all because it's a cutoff. Well, first of all, those people aren't meant for you. They're not interested in you. I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of person that just knows, no, I know when you give energy to somebody because they're reciprocating something back, they have an actual interest. You just feel it, and then you engage. It really depends, really. I mean, if the person ends up being there for 2.5 years, a lot of narcissists don't know this. And I'm talking about being there in your physical 3D reality, where, like, if you went like this and did a Tasmanian devil and got close enough, you could hit them physically. A real life, REA, REA, in reality. In outer space, we have made it, and now we are objects floating around that are the truth. Not in your mind, but in the fucking here. Now, boy, do fucking narcissists have a trouble with that, right? See, they want to stop your expression. They want to stop your confidence. They want to stop they're control freaks for some reason. Something bad happened to them when they were early in life. And to where now they're on edge. Okay, a lot of us may have this trait at one point or other because not one of us is free from trauma or some kind of uncomfortable experience that might have happened when we were a child. But you know what? After a while, you're gonna talk to wise people, and they're gonna and listen to them, and they might tell you, no, no, everybody experiences that. You have to get out of being a child. That notice that some of the traumatic experiences are necessary because you're doing something called growing up. You're growing up out of a certain perception or way of being that might not be in favor of your growing up and out of a we'll keep fucking looping and making a loop with that. No, I'm already moved on to the next thing. And sometimes I reach back and people say, did you make it? Did you make it this far? You did? Can you understand? You have an understanding? Let's go. See, I'm in Aries where it's like I'm always running ahead, but I'm going to reach back and say, hey, no, I didn't lose you, did I? Oh, do you know how to play the game? You let go, but you reach back. Come on, let's go. I'm not playing the same game that society wants everybody to play. Is that I win, you lose? No. If you did find something worthwhile, babes, if you thought you win anything, I mean, really, if it produces a good feeling, can you let us in on it every once in a while? And this is what human nature is, though. This is what human nature is when it's not bottled up, when it's not being fucked with, when it's healthy. When you've found something worthwhile, especially if it brings you joy, you don't know how you're going to go about it, but you're going to share it. You have to. If anything, you're going to be this anomaly that shares their joy. They just look at you, and the first thing they do is smile, and they reach into you, and they want to pour. They're going to be patient. They're going to listen. And right away, people can sense the higher vibrational frequency of somebody, and they automatically go, narcissist. They roll their eyes, and it's like, so be careful. Not everybody is meant for you and me. Hi, whoever you are, if you've gotten this far. I'm trying to make this a long video. I started out by saying, no, yeah, people that don't express themselves, that don't talk openly, and just get it over with. Figure out, why you ended up alone is because those people aren't interested in you. They have some other fucking deep thing to work out within themselves. They need to be alone with themselves first and try to get something, like I said, of joy or bliss or some good feeling. Find it, and then when you do, this is what it is to be human. You share it. You share it. That's just how it is. It's like that fruit tree out right outside the door here that I have. It's just a complete waste. Everybody knows, but it's still, is it a waste? If it does able to drop its fruit down, at least the damn thing fruited, right? And it's dropping it down. Nobody's eating it. Who cares? The fact is, it's going to start growing more trees there. It's just going to keep giving and giving. And anybody in their right mind and who's healthy enough, that is selfless enough, they're not full of trips and shit, they're not going to bypass it. They're going to say, those are a lot of apple trees right there. Let's do this. Maybe they do it all alone. And they plant each tree. This is just an analogy. Did I lose all you guys? How's the sound? I was going to check the sound. Pardon me while I do this. I was trying to make a video about, sorry if I'm yelling, about, I need to look at get my glasses for this one. People that bottle up any expression at all. You see, yeah, because you know what? I'm actually a really good artist. If I apply myself to whatever it is, even just hardly anything, really, just I bring flair to it. It's going to be. I catch the eye of the child who says, "I want that life." They want something about it, but it's really they want to be inspired about being inspired, and I do that. I say, I'm a contagion that way. I hate to tell you, it's a different kind of contagion that brings me and nobody else any pain. No, it doesn't. If man, if a free-speaking person and an entertainer is bringing somebody pain, um, first of all, they don't give a shit. It's like, get out of here. You're not meant to be here. Why did you come into the theater? There's where you have a common human etiquette that should be practiced over, even if it's social media, that you just stay away from the stuff. Why do you subject yourself to something that you don't like? There's where we have to open up a higher court of law and take the time to fight your case, actually be heard, because you're getting a reactive abuse, but then your response to what is now abuse to you, because you freely express yourself, is being abused. You are being picked on because that's just total narcissistic society out there that says, what? They don't, they're non-self-reflecting. And so then now you have to deal with your own healthy reaction, which they turn it around on you and say that it's sick. Are they expressing themselves freely? Do they wear a mask? What kind of lives are they really living? Do they even talk about it? Is it real talk? Hit like and subscribe and send me some money to my Cash App and PayPal. I want more and more people to do this. I want more and more people that see. I have a feeling I'm getting support because when I do express my pain, it's your pain too. In fact, this is humanity speaking, and there is pain being pushed down. And then, see, you know, that ticking time bomb can come up in, oh, it will make you sick. You can get a disease. It can just come right on in because you are always pushing down anger and or an expression of anything, and you're turning into a stone. It could turn you into a stone that is just as harmful as whatever it is that they're running from as far as abuse, a person, a place, a thing that they can't handle, that they're not able to just turn it off and say, I don't want this in my life because it makes me feel bad. So I'm still I'm in the thick of it, dealing with some entities and or entity um, that is it's just profound for me. I don't know why it's so concentrated, except for it's like, well, maybe because I have lived pretty isolated. I've chose isolation. I'm in solitude. I really, I kind of know better. See, it's a pretty dangerous world out there. Hit like and subscribe if you agree. I'm not talking about the earth and walking the fucking wilderness and fishing for trout and roasting it on an open fire. No, I'm talking about, I mean, that's what you wish you could do sometimes. I'm talking about the ecology of the so-called human organism out there. And it's definitely so-called because I'm here to tell you, and no, this is not me just telling you, babes. This is, if you piece it together, the information is right there. There's a lot of the world is designed to cover this up very quite simply that no, you have a non-human faction, you have a faction that is not human yet. You have enough human qualities that are missing in a faction of people. There's two types. I'm talking about one type that is non-human. They have enough not, human qualities missing, such as empathy, the inability to feel another person's pain and suffering, and then therefore sit with it and treat it or be with it or pick them up. That's a human quality. It's very rare. It's coveted. It's called love. It's called the enlightened one. Do you know about the Messiah? These fucking people that dare express themselves in a whole multitude of manners that in some cultures, in some places, really just um, like, what do you call them? Sleepy hollows. I don't know, cities that are just imprisonments that the truth becomes a myth. So anyway, they call it magic or something, or black, or evil, even they don't, and they're all deprived of life. Those people that think that way, they're being programmed, by the way, they're to not um, thumbs up a natural thing. And in fact, too, this is getting controversial. They're being vaccinated away from enjoying the sun, enjoying the grass, enjoying any kinds of foods. They have made people, the more, I'm telling you, they do that through vaccines, is they make people allergic to things. Yeah. Yeah, they'll cause an allergy for the rest of somebody's life just by giving them a certain kind of vaccine. And yeah, yeah. And oh, there's a lot of people that are allergic. People think that that's just how you're born with that kind of shit. No, babe. Very few people on here know, and like and subscribe if you do know this is the truth and this is what we should be talking about. It's like, no, these things, okay, they call it man-made. I don't like to, why did you blame man? Don't do that. There's a third party, and I'm not even talking about reality of reality. I'm talking about aliens. Do you want to talk about aliens? Fucking get your language down right, babes. There could be, might be something that's just beyond the frequency of our ability to see, taste, hear, and touch, or anything like that. But it's definitely a presence that's there, and we are in a human realm right here. We're in a humane realm right here. It's called the universe. I don't care what the fuck you people think that do not care to look up and look at the stars and notice Mother Nature, not Mother Nature, I'm sorry, Virgin Nature, just how, like, that's strange. Like, oh man, if you just sit and look at it for a certain amount of time, especially 60 years or 90, you'll see a tree grow and you'll see a whole thing happen. If it's many, 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 many trees growing. Plant a tree lately? No? No, that's okay. They plant themselves and everything. The thing you should do is take care of it, right? We should take care of it. I don't know. Plant the tree, will you? I I planted a peach tree, and anyway, I got to get going. This video got cut short because of my alarm clock. I have to go and do some things for myself that keeps me sustained in a very real manner. And I'm sorry. Let me look at my microphone to see if it's okay here. Um, I have a feeling that I have to re-turn up my microphone. Um, Pardon me, while I do this kind of thing. But see, now I'll repeat myself because this needs to be noted. Sorry, it's very low. Fuck. I don't know why it does this to me. Fuck. Now you can hear. Sorry about that. I just made a video, fucking 15 minutes long, of something that was very important to me. I was trying to talk to you about it. It's very important. And I'll talk to you about it again in case you didn't hear. But I'm going to shorten it up. And I'm sorry that, wow, you're only get about a minute or so of however long. I guess you could just look at my expressions and all that stuff. It's about expression. See, here's what's happening. Here's what's happened, and this is well known. With people that do not communicate frustrations and things that are going on, if they don't confront things, especially with people, if they are non-expressive, if they render themselves up non-communicative and non-expressive, here's what happens. They become a ticking time bomb. They can either get very sick within themselves because they repress and push down anger and frustration, or they act out on people in such a way it could be passive aggressive or straight up aggressive, right? The ticking time bomb, where they just blow up and see who do they blow up on? They blow up on other people who are expressing themselves freely. And yeah, so anyway, that's what I was trying to tell you. That's the truth. That's why you don't ever want to practice the satanic practice of non-communication. You should know that if somebody is verbally abusive or very painful sounding to deal with right away, like all of a sudden you need to approach it like this. Whoa, it has nothing to do with you. They're in pain. You should guard yourself, don't go near it, but have compassion. Show it the way that you should be around it. If you have ever healed yourself from being so and hurt, then you can try and barrel through with them. It takes time, though. And if they choose to try to keep approaching you, try to keep communicating and saying, well, you're in such pain that's why there was such a distance between us, and that's why you're having to come at me and I'm not coming at you, see, kind of thing. I mean, you have to be the bigger one in the situation. And you have to allow space, though. You hold space for them. See, I've had to do this with my chiropractor. She's very talented with the bones and stuff, and we do have an interesting conversation. But, as with the population in general, everybody is turning weird. It's just weird. See, I don't know. I mean, I look into people. How about you? Do you look into people and hopefully you try to for the most part, you kind of do your own self-reflection. You kind of figure, well, what part do I have to play in this movie with everybody else in this space, and look and keep looking and keep looking and keep going in and looking. I mean, there isn't any one way that you need to be except for the way that you were born as. And so, hi, how are you? And um, um, love your Aries. Find out what happened to your Aries. That's the baby. See the thing about the baby Aries, and that's the Neptunian Saturn. phenomena that we're going through right now, that we're all kind of, you find somebody that can get real with the times who, man, watch out for the generational partying. You can figure that by the time somebody gets up into 65, 70, 80 years old, they are a party animal, right? In a lot of ways, they are. What I mean is, well, especially if they're doing the programming that says it's time to just run amok because you've done your job and you paid your dues, and it's like, why does life change like that? Right? But that's the world. Shauna, what are you talking about? Aren't you having fun eating the cotton candy over at the circus over there and going on a cruise and poisoning the fucking ocean across the board? That fucking shit. Getting botulism and fucking all this fucking people just bored out of your fucking mind. Trash. Can you learn that you have an inner space to manage? And then from there, you can bring up your entertainment. What have you learned? Can you be a comedian like I am? Can you fucking chew, 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 chew and turn this thing into a kid? How many videos have you made from your inner sanctuary that says, man, I made it, baby. I am now entertaining all that is and ever will be, as there's nothing new under the sun. Let's call it the truth. What the fuck is the story now, man? Can you tell your story? See, if you do not tell your story, especially if it's a painful story, if it's uncomfortable, if it gets way off in the left field and you still can't express it, you're going to turn into a ticking time bomb. You're not going to have a very good artwork. It reminds me of when the therapist gives the child a pen and a paper and says, let's see what's going on with them and draw a picture. Well, some kids, alarmingly, they'll draw a scene of sexual abuse or somebody abusing somebody and cutting somebody's, and it's like, would you have him lay off of cable for a while, and have him go take him and do some nice things with the child? But they're really expressing what happened in the house, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, but some of them that can't even do that, that are in worse shape, that they can turn it into a ticking time bomb that constructs in a way that, and I'll talk about that picture. There you go. There's what it turns out to be. Totally unconscious. They don't draw anything. They're just, that's what's going on in their heads. And it's like, this child is disturbed. And yeah, that's what I was trying to tell you with what I was trying to film here. And I don't know if it got it in the beginning, but it's going on 24 minutes, and I'm pretty sure this is now only 12 minutes of my it being a clear voice, because I cleared it up right in front of your face, didn't I? Yeah, I did a little sound check, and I had to turn up the microphone. Anyway, I got to get going because I have an appointment to make at 8 o'clock, but yeah, no, you turn into a ticking time bomb and you express in all this covert manners, or there's overt manners. You can even rub off your frustration and angers in a I mean, this subject matter needs to be opened up. It's very mystical, because it's like, well, how does that happen? It's because you didn't like physically hand them over a jar of terrible mood, and here, you take it and you do something with that mood. I'm going to go over here, and they take your mood. And they're like, and somehow they've stolen from you. That's really what you don't like about your narcissist. That's what the real problem is they steal your life, and they give you their misery, and they tap dance away, and it's weird. It's like, well, fucking, hey, what the fuck? Can you people fucking work out your karma? Are we having fun yet? I am. Whenever I make these videos and I talk about the truth, it fucking releases me of so much pain and agony. Good God. Try it. Make a video. If you don't like the way you look or sound, just point at your dog and say, I'm going to talk about this.